It's always been home, I've always been here. I've always got time for one more beer. So pick up a beer and pull up a chair and strike up the band. It's My Real Portland.
Hello and welcome to My Real Portland. This is My Real Portland. I'm Joe Lyons, your host. Welcome to it. The first thing we like to do is acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the unceded territory of the Chinook people, including the Multnomah and Clackamas. Coming to you live from the green and verdant Jade Lounge in Southeast Portland at 24th and Southeast Ankeny in my hometown, Portland, Oregon. This is My Real Portland, highlighting real people and real stories from all around the area. I'm your host, Joseph Lyons, and I've got a great show lined up for you this evening, including musician Matthew Puccio, storyteller Christine McCrary, and comedian Stephanie Patricio. All right, it is 2020. Welcome to it. I don't think this century is old enough to be an adult yet. What do you think? Speaking of age, I've just changed the size of the font on my phone from default to large, so that's how old I am. I am, oh, hey, you know what? Speaking of calendars and time and all that kind of stuff, do you want to see what's in the game show prize today? Yes. Okay, so this is a very limited edition. There are only six of these in existence. I need to remember how microphones work. I will edit all of that out. The listeners at home will never know that that happened. Okay, check this out. This is the My Real Portland 2020 calendar. Ooh. There are only six because my partner, Len, was super busy and couldn't get to printing anymore. But do you want to know what is on the calendar for January? What's on? I love that. Somebody knows how this show works, and he's never even been here. Okay, so Thursday, January 2nd, 1895, Bull Run water begins flowing to Portland. Ooh, isn't that fascinating? 1994, on January 6th, does anyone know what happened? Nancy Kerrigan was attacked by Tonya Harding's ex-husband. That was just 6 years ago. In 1880, on January 9th, a tornado hit Portland in 1880. On January 11th, just yesterday, in 2011, so what, 9 years ago, Portlandia debuted on IFC. Now, this is interesting. On January 12th at 6 o'clock is My Real Portland, which is happening right now. Woo. And the next thing on the calendar is January 16th at the Clinton Street is also My Real Portland. Oh my gosh, how did that happen? Ooh. We've got two shows. And then on January 17th, my half birthday, in 1989, the Oregon Director of Corrections, Michael Franke, was murdered. Why did I put that on the calendar? That seems kind of mean. On January 18th, in 1933, Ray Dolby was born. He created Dolby Stereo. We might be using his technology right now. And on January 26th, in 1700, the Cascadia earthquake occurs, registering somewhere between 8.7 and 9.2 on the Richter scale. Isn't that amazing? In 1700, that's before any of us were here. So anyhow, the winner of the game show, which you all have cards on your table to fill out and enter for your chance to get up and be on the game show here in just a little bit, you're going to have a chance to win this very limited edition calendar, along with a Cooper Realty mug, a Cooper Realty bag, and Cooper Realty Post-it notes. Ooh. Ooh. The loser of the game show will also win the exact same thing. So let's say hello to my Real Portland co-host, Christian Burke. Hello.
Hello.
How's everything?
I'm chilling. I'm happy to be here, alive still in this new year.
Yeah?
I don't take that for granted. I didn't mean to be so dark.
I was like, oh, did you have other plans? I mean, I was just thinking about it earlier today, thinking here I am doing a show in 2020. I remember thinking the movie 2001 seemed like way out in Never Never Land. Like, I can't believe it's 2020 already.
Yeah, I was 6 at the time, so I definitely 2001.
You were 6.
I was 6.
Wow.
At the time. I'm sorry.
You're so young.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I saw something that said it's crazy how 1980 was like 20 years ago and also 40 years ago. Like, that's wild, right? It's like that was actually 40 years ago.
You know, when you live in Portland and the dream of the 90s is still alive, the 80s are just right around the corner, actually. It seems like just yesterday I was on my red Huffy bike riding down Stark Street to the old Fred Meyer's at 122nd and Stark that's no longer there to buy Weird Al Yankovic's in 3D. That could have just been yesterday. Oh my God, it was the best thing. I remember it. I am so much older than that.
Did you put that calendar together? Who put the dates on there? Did you put the dates on there?
Yeah, I put it all together.
What was the goal of having the Tanya Harding one on there? Did you want like people to be like, like wake up that morning and be like, like that happened today.
Well,
cool. Let me let me carry that energy with me throughout the day. It's kind of troubling.
So we all okay. At least I had the experience when I was growing up in Portland. I actually skated on the same rinks as Tanya Harding as a kid. So like she and I are the same age. We were on the same ice at the same time. I'm sure at some point. Not that I remember that. And she was obviously like I was nothing compared to her being very, the Olympic talent that she was. And so we all in Portland had this gut feeling when that happened. So what's funny is that you asking that question is like, why is that on the? Because it's such a Portland event.
Thing.
Oh gosh, we all had a visceral reaction to it. It all meant something to us.
It's like Portland's version of the OJ case or something,
right?
Okay.
Or and there's positive things on there too. And it's more just to help set the time and space of everything that's happened in Portland is
You have any other fun crimes in there?
Yes.
Any notable kidnappings you noted? No, Portland's got a rich serial killer history.
On June 29th in 1916, Margaret Sanger was arrested promoting birth control.
Oh,
1916. On the streets of our town, just over there, right? May 5th, 1942, the Japanese incarceration begins in North Portland. May 13th, Nimrod O'Kelly murders Jeremiah Mahoney. And then 2 years later, in 1854, Oregon's first female killer, Charity Lamb, murders her husband with an axe in 1854. She's buried just 6 blocks over here somewhere at Lone Fir Cemetery, and we don't know where.
So this is the first ever True Detective calendar, huh? Like it's a...
Right?
Yeah.
And there's only going to be 6 of them this year. So
maybe you can solve the mystery. Piece all the dates together and it means something. I see what you're doing. Okay. Creepy though.
So speaking of creepy, you help people with Jenna Vesper with things that they need personal help with in their lives as part of a show called You Need Help, yes?
I do that.
So how you just had your how many shows have you done?
3.
3. How was this last show?
It was a lot of fun.
Packed show, yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know, like you said, it's a show where we have comedians basically answer the audience's questions about their own lives, and it gets raunchy, as you could imagine. We learned some fun things. The most fun piece of advice a comedian shared this past week was, if you're at like a bar or something and you see someone cute and you want to approach them in like a very coy but like, you know, approach way, but like it's relaxing, you just go up to them and put your pinky around theirs. So this is the type of advice you learn. Like, it's a fun little move. You see someone cute at the bar, you don't put your hand on their hand. That's a little weird. But a little pinky on pinky, it's not gonna hurt nobody. You know what I mean? No, I'm.
Now, first of all, microphones work in a particular way. They're solids and they don't go through skin. Oh, now I lost the train of thought. What I was going to ask you. God, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it's okay.
See, we get to cut out all of this out. You get this live moment, but all the thousands of listeners at home aren't going to. Remind me, what did you just said?
It's pinky.
Oh, the
related.
pinky. Oh, yeah, that's right. As you started talking about pinky, I thought you were going to talk about putting in a different place, and I thought that was going to be a real violation. But then that really is kind of a
advice,
creepy bit of advice. Like, can you imagine if somebody came up and tried
to pinkied me?
Yeah.
And in the appropriate way, if I got pinkied, that's cute. I'd be like, oh, hey, what's up? What you doing? You know? Because it's not like too much. It's not like they put an arm around you. You know what I mean? A pinky's like you just move your hand real quick, like, oh, no, thank you.
I have so many apologies to make because I greeted so many people with an arm around them today.
No, I mean, it's like that's fine, but this is more of a approaching a lover or situation, trying to court someone.
A potential lover.
A potential one, yeah.
You know, my big piece of advice when I was about your age was, instead of inviting people out to coffee, which seemed kind of a little bit too cold, or to a meal, which seemed like too big, you invite them out to tea. Because it's just off-putting enough that everyone's like, oh, yeah, sure, tea.
I've done some tea dates. The problem is, like, it's boring, kind of. Like, there's not, like, it doesn't really. Because, like, the drinking alcohol situation, like, if it crescendos, it could crescendo to someplace. You're like, you're not going to drink a chamomile and be like, oh, wow, you are looking. What do you say we get out of here at 4 p.m.?
Well, you're absolutely right, because like you like asking people on a tea date is great, but you never really want to go on a date with a person who would accept the invitation for a tea date, right? The crescendo of a date.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why I don't like coffee dates either. Coffee dates. I mean, because coffee dates are both getting too stimulated and then like, you know, doing nothing, but not like you're just like, yeah, so tell me about your sister. Whoa, I love that. Yeah, what else? What'd she study? What was her major? Huh? It's like,
but a coffee date that leads to an alcohol date soon afterwards, you put those two things together, and now you're going all night. Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're too many dates in at this point.
All right, who's ready to get the show started? That seemed like a good cold intro. How was that?
So natural.
We'll cut all that out. All right, and now it's time for the show. See, I wrote that right there. Our first guest has performed all the way from Eastburn to the KBOO Studios, both walking distance from right here. She's also performed on Minority Retort, About Something, the I-Anonymous Show, the Siren Theater and Rendezvous Theater, and Eclectic Theater in Seattle. Please welcome to My Real Portland, Stephanie Patricio.
What's up? How you doing? It's a very quiet crowd. I'm into it, though. I'm into quiet time, reading time. No, I just recently got a job. Thank you. This is normally where you clap, like, thank you. Thank you. I think it started going to my head, though, because I started calling white people peasants. Okay, cool. Just needed to test the waters there. I'm a queer. I'm a queer. Any other queers in here? Yeah, we're queer. I'm a queer. I'm like 30 years in. So if you have any advice, please pull me aside. I moved back to Portland. One of the things I love about Portland is just how queer it is, right? I can go any given place and I feel like I see the queers out there. So I'm like, all right, cool. We're safe. If anything goes down, we make eye contact. We know where the exit is. Like, we got it. I just feel really held here, not like in a lot of other places. But it got to the degree that when I like feel so held that I found a good porn the other night. And my first instinct was to share it on Facebook. It's like, I found one. And I was like, no, I got my creepy uncle on there. Let's not do that. Let's see. It's cold. It's cold as fuck out there. It's getting cold. White guys walking around in the wintertime always look like they're about to go seek revenge on a long-lost enemy here. Just bundled up, just serious, just like on a mission, I dig it. I'm getting ready. I did a lot of twerking this weekend. Being in your 30s is weird, though, because I'm no longer twerking for fun anymore. I'm twerking for my back health. I'm on OHP. I got to get it where I can get it, like it's not free, so I gotta get self-care, self-care. What else did I do this weekend? Oh, I thought about capitalism a lot. Anyone else tired of this capitalist plot line? Yeah, me too. I'm tired of it. I feel like, of all the energy that we could expend on like creating a universe, like we got the one where animated bears sell you toilet paper. I don't. And if you're on acid, that's cool. That's dope. You're just staring at the screen like that for hours. Another beef I have with capitalism is like, we got rectangle money, square pockets, square cars, square beds. Too many squares. Gotta throw some circles up in that bitch. Like a prayer circle, a healing circle. Throw that ass in a circle. I don't know, just like vary it up, Switch it up. Switch the shapes up for capitalism. I don't know. Okay. Let's see, what else do I got? I menstruate. Any other menstruators in here? Give it up for menstruation. All right, that's my time. No, I'm just kidding. I start menstruating now. I mean, it is Portland, so that could work. I menstruate. I've come to terms with it. It's fine, I guess. But I started using a cup. Not like a kitchen cup, but like a little goblet for your hoo-ha down here. It's just like cheers every month, like you just cheers. I guess, sure, grown. That's cool. Y'all, I get collecting my blood is cool and all, but what am I supposed to do with all this blood now? Because I've got gallons of this shit at home. Just in a Gatorade cooler, on my nightstand. Just 2 pumps behind the ear, and then you're good to go for the day, It's a fuckboy repellent. I don't know. I do feel like having a Carrie moment with the blood. You all remember? Well, Yeah. Carrie, Carrie just like, oh, yeah. But like at a Trump rally, just put it to good use. Scare the Nazis away. Plus, I'm queer, so it's really easy to find like a hand truck, like on the spot. And I'm Mexican, so we're bound to get some shit done, It's good. It's good. I was getting a massage the other day. Not a fancy gal. I got rear-ended. I got in a car accident. I got rear-ended on my way to therapy by an Astrovan with a mustache on it. Yeah. Yeah, it was. It wasn't like a push broom mustache either. It was like a handlebar mustache, just like real carnival energy, Not the kind of mustache ride I was hoping for that day, but I was like, all right, make it work. But I got rear-ended, so I got sent to like physical therapy and to get a massage. So I'm 15 minutes into the massage. I just started seeing this woman, and 15 minutes in, she asked me, "Are you Native?" And I guess that's a question you ask someone while you're rubbing their body. And I had been having a pretty good white people streak, so I was like, let's roll with it. Let's see where this goes. She's like, okay, 'cause I just took a DNA test. Yes, that one. That response. I remember I'm naked and she's just facing my cheeks, so it's like, okay. And I was like, all right, give it to me. What do you got? She goes, well, I was really bummed because the test didn't show anything. And my whole life, my family told me we were part Cherokee. And I was like, well, my whole life, my family told me white people were the devil. And you win some, you lose some, She kept going. She goes, and I was sad because I have tattoos and I've always felt really connected to nature and spirituality. I'm like, but you can still do that. You can still be a good person. That's not a requirement. Be Native. And I was like, damn, what do I do? This is so unfair. So I crop dusted her. Gotta rise up, No, I'm just kidding. I stabbed her. Then I hid the body. Now I'm a masseuse in Southeast. My coworkers are a little weird about the whole murder thing, but like I can give you that deep discount. So come see me. Come see me. All right, got real quiet and tight after that. Okay. Let's see. I started dating again. Silence. All right. Thank you. Tell your dads. 'Cause I'm into that. I'm into dads. Yes, I am sure. I'm into dads. Started dating, but actually, no, I'm not. I'm trying to not date men anymore. I don't want to date men. I still date men, but like I don't want to. Like it just I don't want to. And I don't, cis dudes, like, it's hard. Gender is hard for cis dudes sometimes. Like, I'm non-binary, which means I'm just like a little cupcake with all of the sprinkles on it, Like, I'll go and get a mani-pedi and then help you find the studs on your wall. Like, that's what it is. And I'm real happy about it. But in relationships, it's kind of weird because men often want me to play, like, the woman role. And I was in bed with this man, and we had gotten intimate. This is weird for me to talk about on stage. So I don't gotten, I don't know. And we were post freakiness, and I was in his arms, and he looks at me, he's like, Stephanie, you're so beautiful. You're such a beautiful woman. You're such a woman. You're such a beautiful woman. And I was like, sure, I'll take the compliment. Okay. But I'm more like a relaxed fit woman, like I'm not. My gender is denim, I guess. Like I just relaxed fit. So I started seeing other people, which has been really nice. It's nice to get a refresh. I had seen this guy for like 4 years. So it's nice to like be refreshed and be like, oh, there's like real humans out there that are decent and they're cool. I started seeing this guy, and it's more casual. It's good. We're both looking for the same thing. It's fine. And I never experienced this before, but he takes my pleasure into account, whatever, to the degree that he was like, bring your toys next time we hang out. Bring your toys. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. The only problem is, like, I don't have a carrying case for my vibrator, like I don't have like a suitcase for that. It's like just show up. So I just like wrapped it in a towel and tucked it under my arm, I guess. Like, not a real person. So I was like, all right. And I just showed up to the door like some kind of dildo salesman, like, I'm here in a fedora. Toolbox. See, that's the thing. At least give me like a holster. Gotta be ready with that thing on me. So I'm playing with the idea of door-to-door dildo salesman in Portland. I've got cards, do in-home demos. It's all organic, free-range lube. There are eggs involved, but, I don't know. Okay, thank you. That's been my time.
Give it up for Stephanie Patricio. So, by the way, you've been dating. Let's give it up for all the couples in the room. I know there are quite a few.
Woo.
Let's give yourselves all a hand.
Can you feel the love tonight?
I was not expecting that. I can feel the love. Thank you. So, Stephanie, how'd you get started in comedy?
I was thinking about this. I think I got to a point where I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to, which sounds, I guess, kind of sad. But it was just like I had hit a point. I was traveling abroad. I was in Mexico City, and I was real homesick. I was watching a lot of Netflix, and I was like, this is it. Like, I just have so much on my mind. I don't feel like I hear a lot of indigenous people or women talking, so let's do it. Fuck it, like, I feel like it was both like I needed a release and I just reached my wit's end.
Was there something about being in Mexico City that influenced that, or?
Yeah, Mexico City is beautiful. It's huge, it's so historic. So it was this weird, like, I feel rooted here, and also it's just Mexico is a extremely classist country and place, and very colorist. And yeah, I think there was a lot of anger there where I was like, I'm just sick and tired of this. And, I'm American born. And so it's just this whole, like, I belong, but I don't belong. So yeah, there was a lot of dynamics there that like bubbled for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember being in Mexico City and the dynamics of classism being so similar to here, of colorism, but also the sexism was so much more palpable even than it was here. That was the bigger culture shock than anything else, language or otherwise. So what were your comedy influences?
I turned it off. There you go. There you go. I used to watch a lot of Saturday Night Live when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would stay up.
Who were your Saturday Night Live people?
That era where, like, Adam Sandler and Chris Rock, and
Will Ferrell.
Yes. I'm forgetting. He passed away, and I always have.
Phil Hartman?
No, not Phil.
Oh.
He was on there though at the time. Chris Farley.
Yeah.
It was a lot of that era. I was like 8 and just stay up. And I think this was when it was like 2.5 hours long. So I just sit there and watch, be staring at the TV. And comedy is not a thing where since I was little, I was like, I want to do this. This is very new And truth be told, I'd gone to a psychic. She's like, go do more things. Say yes to things. I was like, okay.
The say yes influencer. Everyone gets that moment sometime in their life. Right? Am I wrong? Everyone gets that. Yeah. So saying yes to comedy, how did that feel to do your first time when you got up and were able to start sharing that voice?
It was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. Like, because I sucked, I was so bad. Like, I had horrible premises. Like, I had a premise about how I was going to get revenge on an ex by, how people write on stalls, like, for a good time, call blah, blah, blah. Like, I had that idea, but it was like, for a good quiche, call Bob. And I was like, that'll get up. Because, okay,
what's Bob's number? He sounds cool.
In my mind, like, a person on the receiving end of that is you got to entertain that for a minute, and if it's at 4 a.m., all the better,
You think you ever would have made any quiches? Like, you think you get called enough, eventually be like, yeah, all right, whatever, yeah, come over.
I guess
get worn
down. Right. Maybe. That would be cool. It was terrifying, I sucked, but it was good at the same time. And I that was like in February, and I didn't go back to it until December. So it was, I just remember it being absolutely terrifying.
So you had an 11-month break in between getting up?
Yeah.
What? So I'm so curious because just a personal question. I took a hiatus for 10 weeks from doing the show and went through a depression that was just like up and down. And the idea of getting up and being on stage is a really fun thing. How did that feel to take 11 months off and then decide, I need to get up and do that again?
I feel like I was a different person.
Ooh.
I was more, where I had been in Mexico and just felt completely alienated and like, I don't know where I am, like, alone, renting a room, going to I think I was going to art school. It's completely alienating. I came back and I'd been here for almost a year, and it was a stoner show, so it was like, everyone had gotten stoned, and I think I was a drink or two deep in, and then the mic followed afterwards, and I was like, let's do it. I was with my best friend from college, and I had thought, I thought I had worked some more premises out, and I went up and I got some laughs, and I was like, oh, okay. I felt like it gave me time to really think about how I wanted to approach the joke telling. As opposed to being like, I have something to say, but I don't want to be up here at all. It was more like, hey, what about this? I felt more playful.
Ooh, playful.
Yeah, playful. Not like the dirty sex,
No,
but I will
right.
do that too. But
where it can be experimentation and fun, and in the moment, the flow almost happens, right? Yeah.
And the stoner, I was very stoned, so
Well,
that
yeah.
also helped a lot.
that always helps.
A lot.
So you're also an activist.
Yes.
How has your activism come about? I was kind of raised in it. A lot of people come to it later in life. How was it for you?
I feel like poverty really motivated me.
Yep.
Being a press person. It just it's something that I went on. That was the thing that I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And then before I went to Mexico, I was completely burnt out. I was a labor organizer just down the road here, and I'd been doing that. I worked for the UFW, the janitors union, and it was a passion, it was a passion of mine. I was really headstrong into it, just working long hours. And we unionized a couple places, it was great. It was great.
Wow.
It was great. It was great work. I feel like that informs my comedy. I remember like not only me being, broke, but like then going to homes and being like, oh, okay, these are real life situations. People are like struggling, I feel like that grounds me where I'm like, up here, first generation, have a college degree. I can go back to those moments and be like, no, like, is my comedy, where's my comedy going? And is it resonate with people or doesn't? And sometimes it doesn't. That's fine, you know? But I feel like it informed my comedy in like kind of a reverse way. You know, I very much stepped away from organizing. I'll always be an activist. I'll always like, you know, try and have something to do, something to try and help organize. But I can't, you know, anymore. And that's fine. But comedy is really where I found my passion now, where I can do it. You know, it's sustainable. Take a break. It's not a full-time job yet. And I get to be creative in it, be goofy, and get stoned. You know, it's good.
Well, and I noticed that you had worked with farm workers in Woodburn for some time.
In Hermiston, like in Pendleton.
Hermiston. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I used to work with a program back in the 90s, working with farm worker population all around. We had a satellite office in Hermiston.
Oh, shoot.
And so I got to work with a lot of that same population in a different, you know, through a different stream. But all of the work to unionize farm workers and the people who are putting food on all of our tables is so vital and so important. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Your work.
And thank you.
You know, the real heroes to me are the activists, the teachers, the people who are doing the real work. So you're a hero to me.
Thanks. Thank you.
So do you find that comedy allows you to continue your activism work just in a different way?
Yeah, absolutely. I get to laugh more. You know, I'd always, for a minute there, I wanted to be a poet, but like I couldn't hack it. You know, it was too corny I was too corny. Like I was just a corny poet. And I think that's been my thing with organizing. Like I feel like we take ourselves way too seriously sometimes. And that's blown up in my face a couple times. We're just like, no, girl, like we gotta laugh, you know, we gotta laugh. Like that I feel like is an organizing tool. Like if you can make people laugh, you can make people think. And levity, right? Have some levity for everything that's going on right now.
There was a post just yesterday or the day before on Facebook that has stuck with me. It's in essence that in this day and age, happiness is a form of resistance. It's a form of revolution.
That's right.
You know, and that just has really stuck with me. So that you're just right on target with that. So where's your comedy going next? Where are you performing? What are you going to be on next?
I am performing on Planned Parenthood in a month for the benefit. Yeah,
awesome.
That's why I'm doing a lot of dating stuff, and it's thanks. It's uncomfortable, but I think we need to talk about it, you know, and just get it out there. Just talk about those things, especially for brown folks, brown non-binary folks. Like right now I don't get to go and see shows that are just like, yeah, tell me about your life, what's going on, you know, and that's for a benefit, and that's great, you know. It'll be a great show. There's a lot of comics on there and storytellers, so yeah, that's next.
Beautiful. And how can we follow that? How can we follow you?
You can follow me on Facebook. I'm La Stephanie 503 on there. Yeah, and it's a page. Don't friend request me. I probably won't accept. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that's very good. Yeah, send people to their page. That's very important. All right. Now that sound means it's time for tonight's Portland Questionnaire.
Hey.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, what is your favorite smell in Portland?
My favorite smell is hipsters waiting in line at Screen Door.
The hipsters or Screen Door?
The hipsters.
Uh-huh.
Just that unwashed. Just give it to me.
That unbathed, haven't even slept overnight.
The white dreadlocks just... no, I'm just kidding. No.
So just so you know, if the Screen Door ever has a line, This place right here, the slide in, is open just at the exact same times they are for brunch. So, what's your favorite sound in Portland?
My favorite sound in Portland is, on 11th and Division when that train is like there for half an hour. You all know what I'm talking about? That train when the gates like open and you can go through. That's my favorite.
When that sound is just gone and all of us,
Yes.
That's a great answer, honestly. That
That
might be
really
my favorite
is.
answer I ever heard. The specificity makes it like.
Thanks.
Right?
That fucking train, man. Jesus.
What's your favorite bridge in Portland?
Oh, anyone that no one is jumping off of.
Oh.
I know. Okay. I don't know. They're all good. Sorry. I'm sorry. The Hawthorne because it's red?
Okay, we'll take the Hawthorne.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
I was just frozen. I couldn't
I know.
respond at
I'm
all.
sorry,
I
that
was just waiting. I knew you needed to save me, and you did. What famous Portlandian would you most like to meet?
Fuck, I didn't Wikipedia this. Damn it. Clyde Drexler.
Oh, great answer.
Yeah, got it.
Now, how long have you been in Portland?
So I'm from Woodburn. I'm just 45 minutes south of here.
Uh-huh.
And
how old?
Yeah, good.
That's a bad question to ask, but I'm going to
Oh, you go ahead. I'm 33.
33, and you remember Clyde Drexler.
Oh, yeah, like yesterday. Like it was yesterday.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Me too. And I'm like, so much older than you.
You can't be.
Clyde Drexler?
I've been here for like 2 years.
I know, right? Clyde Drexler, anyone else? Yeah, 1, 2 claps. Oh. Woo! My real Portland.
Woo.
What's your favorite weekend brunch?
Oh, God, I love brunch. I love a good Eggs Benedict. Just rub my face in it, just like, oh, God. Yeah, I love a good Eggs Benedict. I love a good, like, just pancakes and links, like, just the hearty American, like, no frills. That's my shit. That is my, yes. I love that.
No frills, but also Eggs Benedict.
Yeah. I'm like a fancy bitch and also not. Like, give me either one.
Oh, I've had some unfancy Eggs Benedict.
Okay.
Like there are ways to unfancy that dish.
That's true.
That are really nasty and gross.
That's true.
Have you ever been to what my dad used to call North's Chuck Wagon or Chuck's North Wagon? They used to have these pans that would just have like, it was just good. We'll stop talking about Eggs Benedict and move on with the Portland questionnaire.
Weird tangent.
If you could rename any Portland street after any person, what street and for who?
Damn it. Let's go Selena.
What
street? Probably Powell.
Oh.
Just to get everyone to say it, Or maybe like a hereditary chief or something, but that's not as fun. Yeah, something like that. Or after me. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Patricio Boulevard instead of Powell.
Yeah.
I like
Goals.
that.
Okay. Got it.
But the only problem is that in Portland you can only name streets after dead people. So don't get too excited about those goals.
Okay. Well, it's a street though.
If you were a tree, which Portland area park would you like to be planted in?
Laurelhurst.
Lovely.
It's quiet, and then it's got like busy sections, and then the white folks go and do that silent, like I'm listening to music, but it's in my headphones. So I would like to watch that. I would like to be a tree and watch that.
I love it. I love that park. All right.
That's a good park.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
One more time for Stephanie Patricio.
Thank you for having me.
So my next guest holds the unique distinction of being in the audience at the very first My Real Portland episode in 2017. Is that right? Since then, she's completed a large mural on the site of a Multnomah Village building and has performed on Telltale PDX. Her insurance branch in Multnomah Village provides her the opportunity to coordinate Multnomah Days, a hugely popular Southwest Portland neighborhood annual event. The next one is August 15th on 2020. Please welcome to My Real Portland, Christine McCrary.
Testing. Testing. All right. So,
Yeah, okay.
so if you are a parent, there comes a time where you're going to have a very uncomfortable conversation. Now, I'm not talking about telling your kids about when Fluffy had to go live at the farm or why mommy and daddy don't live together anymore. You know, you're going to have the talk, you know, the birds and the bees. As a matter of fact, my 22-year-old son is here from college, and Tyler, I think you're ready. So when a man and a woman really love each other, they'll show that love in very intimate ways. Okay, well, maybe this isn't the time for that, but the talk that I had to have was much more uncomfortable than this would have been. So let's talk about sex. For 13 years, I worked in senior health care. And I loved it. I had such a great relationship with the residents and the families. I would help the families know what level of care they needed for their loved one, and I would help the residents get acclimated into the communities. I mean, it really was just a job that just was my passion. And I wasn't a social worker, but I did a lot of social work when I was there. So with that, there's a lot of things that I didn't expect when I was in senior health care. There is a lot of sex that goes on in these communities. And I mean a lot. And I'm not talking about those active 50-plus communities. And by the way, as somebody who is about 4 years from 50, whoever came up with the idea that 50 was the edge of elderly can kiss my ass, because it's definitely not. My first encounter with how prevalent sex was in the senior communities is when I was an activity director in a nursing home. So I go into our morning meeting, and they're discussing how 2 seniors are requesting a private room for an intimate encounter. And I was very new to this, and I did not know that that was a thing. There are so many men on Viagra in these communities. I mean, there's as many men on Viagra as there are men on blood pressure medication in these communities. And so the state actually requires that you provide a private place for this. And, you know, and I thought that's actually pretty impressive, very cool. The funny thing about this particular group was that he was in a wheelchair. So our staff actually had to assist him into the bed for his encounter. And, you know, but you know what? A little bit of joy in these communities. You know, why not, right? That wasn't so bad. A few months later, I came into a morning meeting, and then they were discussing how 3 of the residents would like to have a threesome. And that's when I bowed out, because my activity director's license was not covering that kind of activity. You know, people don't talk about senior sex very often. They think it's cringy, you know, so they don't discuss it. But it is getting a little bit more mainstream. Like, did you see a few months ago when that group of 6 seniors aged 62 to 85 got busted for having group sex in a park? I'm like, are you serious? Like, where do they get the energy for that? Because at the end of the day, I'm ready for a little TV, hot bath, bed, you know? So it's pretty impressive. I mean, Netflix even has that series, Grace and Frankie, and it's literally about 80-year-old women who start a senior sex toy business. I was even just recently reading an AARP article. Yes, I was just recently reading an AARP article. And the article was sex 50 plus. What's normal? And I found out that normal is that 70 and 80-year-olds are getting it on a lot. I also realized that AARP is not just for Medicare and arthritis. So 13 years in the business, I thought I had seen it all. And let me tell you, I'd seen it all. But this particular day, I had two of my different residents' daughters come into my office together. And they were freaking out. And they told me I needed to demand that her mother and her father stop seeing one another. Now, this is the part that I'm really frustrated about, because I'm having to change the names of these folks for their protection, but his name is so perfect for this story, it drives me crazy. Like, I desperately want to tell you what his name is, but I can't. So we're going to call him Dr. Love. Trust me, the real name would have even sounded more made up than that. And her name, we're going to call her Anne. So Dr. Love was a 92-year-old physician. And he taught a Bible study in our community, and he drove, and he went on trips. And, I mean, he was really very active. I mean, he still practiced medicine, even though he lived in my assisted living community. Anne was a vibrant, engaging, very charismatic 86-year-old. The problem with their relationship is that Anne was married. Her husband lived in another community because he required more care than we provided at our assisted living. Anne's daughter was very, very worried that if Anne's husband found out about the affair, he was going to divorce her, cut her off, and she'd have to leave the community. Dr. Love's daughter was concerned that if all of that happened, he would feel responsible and he'd pick up the tab to keep Anne in the community. They begged me to stop this affair. Now, the thing with these senior communities is that our residents had rights. They have the right by state law to have whatever relationships they want. And nobody by law is allowed to stop that. As long as they're both of the same cognitive level and they both consent, nobody can stop that. But I understood the concern. I'd had the same concern, in fact. I knew about the fair because Anne had come and she had confided in me. And also, they weren't very good about keeping that under wraps. It's a community. People knew what was going on. And so I had to sit down with Anne and Dr. Love, and I had to talk to them. Here I am with these people that are closer to 100 years old than they are 50. And I had to talk to them about the consequences of their sexual relationship. I was mortified. It was just one of the hardest things. So I sat down with them and I started out the conversation letting them know that this is way more embarrassing for me than it is for them. And I apologized up front. And I talked to them about the consequences of this affair. I let them know about the concerns of the daughters. I let them know that, Anne, who loved living in our community, that she might have to leave if her husband found out, and that the residents were already buzzing and talking, because the only gossip world that's a little bit more prevalent is like senior text lines than these senior communities. Teen text lines in these senior communities. I mean, it's a gossip world. They know what's going on and they're talking about it. So we had this conversation, and they were so kind. They were so apologetic for me having to come to them and have this talk with them. And at the end of the day, they started thinking about it, and they decided that maybe they had let this get a little bit out of hand. And maybe it would be best if they just cooled their heels a little bit and just became friends. And so we decided, okay, that was what was best. We got up to leave, and Dr. Love grabbed Anne by the shoulders, pulled her into him, and gave her the deepest, wettest kiss. And then he looked at me, and he said, "Now that's passion." And he was right. Man, whew. And then we all went our separate ways, and everything was great for about a week, and then they just started it all over again. The daughters came to me again, and they just begged me to stop them, and I told them I'm out. They know the consequences, they know the situation. They were so happy, and who am I to say, that they should stop doing that? And so I backed out. And there's just a couple of things I learned from this experience. First of all, I learned I got a lot more years of passion in my future. And the second thing I learned is you cannot stop two horny seniors in love.
Christine McCrary, everybody. So I used to work at Loaves and Fishes, which is what we used to call our Meals on Wheels program here. And the most bodily fluids that I ever had to deal with was people having accidents in our dining room. I cannot imagine that situation, having to be with that level of intimacy with wow.
Oh, it was crazy. It was definitely above my pay grade.
Like, is there an industry of people out there who are helping old people get it on? And if not, I'll bet there's a good industry to be had if anyone's willing to do that.
I don't think they need help.
Oh.
They're doing it. The things that they need help with is education about STDs.
Mm-hmm.
That is rampant in the senior community. But otherwise, they got it figured out. They know what they're doing.
So why aren't they practicing safely?
Because this is what they're living for at this point, I don't guess they figure they have too much to lose at this point.
Well, it's like, yo, I beat STDs for 60 years.
Either that
Whew.
or I've already
Hell
had
yeah.
them all. I might as well get them all again.
Yes,
Right?
I already have a lot. I mean, I'm not all these people, I'm sure it's not. But it's like, I already have some health issues, you know what I mean? Chlamydia on top of this is nothing.
I'm already taking 25 pills. What's 26?
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. I just enjoy unprotected sex. Like, one of the few true joys in life.
It may be the difficulty of all of that, just trying to, handle protection.
Right?
I mean, if you can't get into the bed to get it going on, handling the protection part of it may be more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Well, so adaptive devices for condoms.
I think we might have a new venture that we can look into, I think.
Oh my gosh, somebody get on that. You're about to be a thousandaire.
They've been lacking on upgrades
That's
for
what
the
you
condom
said.
for years. So they've been lacking on upgrades for the condoms for like forever. It's like they just made it and they were like, all right, we're good. It's like,
Right?
I think.
They went from sheepskin to latex and then just stopped.
Yeah.
They're like,
I
there we
believe there's
go.
room for improvement still.
Right?
They need like the shoehorn for that,
The dick horn.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. There is.
Dick
We are
horn.
making history tonight. Okay.
Dick Horn. That's what we'll remember from this show for sure.
my God, the horny.
The horny horn. All right, we got branding. Cool. Phase 1.
Now we just need sponsors.
We get together once a month to create new products for old people, and this is
Got
our
it.
new Wine Real Portland venture. Okay, so you got up at Jasmine Pettit's Telltale PDX. Tell us about that event, because that is such a great Portland event. How did that go for you?
You know, that was super fun. I've done public speaking for a long time, but I'd never done a storytelling event where it was storytelling for storytelling's sake. And that was just a blast. What a great community of people who are just super supportive and who are there just to learn interesting things about other people and to have a really good time. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. So it happens once a month at Milwaukee's Chapel Theater. Just a really great storytelling event. Jasmine Pettit's been on this show, so check that out. And now in Multnomah Village, you are kind of everyone knows you because you do everything there from running Multnomah Village, and then you've also just been on this out in public for the last couple of I don't know how many months it took you to do your mural, but
It took me 1 year or 1 month shy of 1 year to do my mural.
wow.
That's because I didn't know what I was doing.
But that's awesome.
Only
And
3
it-
days of painting.
And it's a 20 foot by 48 foot mural. It's a big
huge,
mural.
right? And on a space that had been pretty blank in the community for a long time, and great to see that kind of addition happening in Multnomah Days. And there's at least one special person on that mural, yeah?
Yeah, so when I started the mural, I kind of had a little plan of what I was going to paint out. And right at the beginning of doing the mural, actually just almost a year ago to the day, I got the call that my dad was sick and he had cancer. He had stage 4 cancer. We just, out of the blue. And then 6 weeks later, he was gone. And I knew immediately that I wanted my dad to be a part of that mural. And so the mural it looks like a little neighborhood street, and it's got some different people on it. And one of those people is a little old white-haired man sitting on a bench eating a sugar-free butterscotch candy, because that is my dad. And the mural just happens to face my office, which is right next door, and I can just every day see my dad looking over at me, watching over me, and that's just such a cool thing to have there.
That's so sweet. And so with Multnomah Days, you then have this opportunity to bring hundreds of people, thousands, to the village to celebrate just this tiny little hamlet in the middle of how many people in the audience know where Multnomah Village is? A few hands. Like, I could never find it. It seemed like it would just vanish. It would be gone for years, and then all of a sudden I'd drive through it, and there's Multnomah Village again. It's such a cute little place. How is it when it just gets filled with that many people?
Well, people don't realize that Multnomah Days started in 1920s as just a parade.
Wow.
And now it's one of the largest street fairs in all of Portland, and we bring in about 8,000 to 10,000 people on this day, one day a year, and we have huge just entertainment. Last year we had over 160 street vendors, tons of food, live entertainment. I mean, it's just incredible to put all that together and to see the outcome of that.
Mm-hmm. And the families that come out that can just walk into the community, it's such a great thing. And now you're relatively new then to the Portland area because you're here from Texas most recently.
I am. I moved here from Texas in 2017 in July. Yours was one of the first things I ventured out to when I got here, just randomly. I actually found out that our musical guest tonight is from the same town in Texas.
Oh, that is
which
too
is
crazy.
Insane. Like, not even just from the same state. Like, we know the same people.
Wait, may I ask what town, or are you keeping it secret?
Oh, no, it's Tyler, Texas. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so crazy.
My real Tyler.
We're going on the road.
Oh, that's not near as interesting as the Portland.
So how did you find adjusting to life here in Portland?
Oh, I never felt at home in Tyler. I have different views. It just never felt like it was my place. And when I ended up here, it felt like home. Mm-hmm. Like I feel at home here.
You know, it's funny. I was born here, I grew up here, and I needed to go away for a total of 3 weeks to Yuma, Arizona to realize that I wanted to go back home. And so I always had a problem having this place that I loved to call home because I was like, wait a minute, how about all those other places? And I realized just how special it is here.
It really is.
There's
It
I don't
absolutely
know what
is.
it is. So it feels like home. What are you going to be doing for your next storytelling events and getting up in front of audience to do more storytelling?
Well, I don't have anything currently slated, but I'm always open. I have lots of stories to tell. I'd also love to look into doing a little stand-up comedy or who knows what. I mean, I'm just wherever the wind blows, I'm up for all sorts of adventures.
You're also saying yes to things, yes?
So many yeses. So many yeses.
All right, so that sound means it's time for our next Portland questionnaire. Christine, are you ready?
I am.
What's your favorite smell in Portland?
Okay, this is going to be weird.
Good.
When I visited here, well before I knew I was going to live here, I was walking down the street near the Duck Fur, and I walked by a tent, and the most amazing smell of home-baked cookies came from it. And that's not the smell you expect to come from a tent on the street, but that is the smell that happened. And when you think about a smell, I mean, it was just the most incredible thing, and it was such a memory that was burned into my brain. So that is the smell that I most liked here in Portland.
Fascinating. Yeah. That area has
That was
a lot.
beautiful. This story sounds like a surrealist painting.
And that area has so many very unique smells. But so when you mentioned the intersection, I was just like all the different places, and I was not going to expect a tent with chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, I didn't expect that either.
It's like the even less. It's like you thought we were like slumming it going food carts when we start eating out
When
of
we
food
start eating out of
tents.
just tents on the
Watch
sidewalk.
out. Summer 2020.
Right? What's your favorite sound in Portland?
So there's a little Mexican restaurant I eat at on 23rd, and there's a guy there that plays saxophone on the corner, and it's beautiful. And really just any of the street musicians, I just think when you're walking through the neighborhoods and you hear this talent that's just on our streets when we walk around, I love. But I do love sitting outside, eating some Mexican food, the close to that as we can get here, and and just enjoying the gentleman that just plays the saxophone out there. Love it.
That is awesome. I've got to ask you which place on 23rd.
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I do not remember the name of it.
Is it Santa Fe?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. And right on the corner, and occasionally there's a tuba player that joins him.
Interesting. I love that.
I don't know how he gets around with that tuba. Like, does he take it on the bus? I'm not sure how that works, but...
Tuber.
That was brilliant. So
I think Christian and I need to go on the road. I think we can like pop off some stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a professional, ladies and gentlemen.
so tonight we have Tuber, a way to get around with your tuba, and a device to put condoms on old people, the dick horn. All right. The cockle.
Cockhorn.
Heck yeah. Does anyone have a 3D printer?
It's
We're
Portland.
one
There's
step
probably
away.
one right back there.
We are one step away, people.
What's your favorite bridge in Portland?
Oh, I just love the St. John's Bridge. I just think it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's gorgeous. What's your what famous Portlandian would you most like to meet?
You know, I thought about this, and really, I think it's I love celebrities. I'm a celebrity stalker, but I think it would have to be Carrie Brownstein. I just think that she's super cool, and I think if we ever talk, and if you're listening, Carrie, if we ever talk, I think we could be best friends. And so that's who I'd love to meet. Actually, she passed by me on the street the other day, but she didn't seem like she wanted to be bothered, so I didn't go stalk her.
What's really awesome is now when I post this episode online, I'm going to hashtag Carrie Brownstein in it so that she'll
Look me
hopefully
up.
listen to it, right? She's got nothing better to do than to
Right.
listen to this podcast.
Then just comb through the hashtag of her name. I hope to God that's not what she does with her time.
I hope she does.
Here's this two-hour episode of a podcast that I want to listen to for this random reference to me. Okay, so that's great. What is your favorite weekend brunch?
Just this past week, speaking of some bougie brunch, I had a pork belly eggs Benedict. And it was good. It was so good. It was a jam on Hawthorne, and it was mighty tasty.
So we're eggs Benedict for 2.
My real eggs Benedict.
I like that. If you could rename any Portland street after any person, what street would you rename? And for who?
So I think that I would rename Division to be Leica. My daughters are huge fans of like Coraline and that whole genre of animated film, and I just think it's funky and cool.
Now, speaking of film in Portland, if you think that you know about literary films in Portland, you want to come to the Clinton Street Theater on Thursday night because the game show is all based on literary films. Tonight, the game show is all the events of the last decade. But that's a fantastic answer, and Leica may be one of the answers in that game show, so just a hint for anyone listening. If you were a tree, which Portland park would you want to be planted in?
I think Mount Tabor. It's really high up. It's got a gorgeous view. I love seeing the city. I love seeing Mount Hood and all of that in the distance.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. All right, everyone, let's give it up one more time for Christine McCrary. All right. So My Real Portland is brought to you by me, Joseph Lyons, realtor in the streets, podcaster in the sheets. I help home buyers and sellers across the Portland metro area make their real dreams become real estate. Learn more about me at josephlyons.com. All right. I have got names in a bucket. I am going to draw them for people to come up to My Real Portland, the game show. All right. So, first we have Tony. Tony, come on up. Tony says, fuck Twitter. And I have Tyler Clark. Come on up. So grab a mic. Have a seat. Go ahead. Hold that. Great. All right. So everybody has their microphones. Now, say your name into the microphone once, Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler, all right. And Tony, would you
Tony?
please? Okay, great. Thank you. Very good. Now, those are going to be the names that you're going to be calling in when you think you know the answer to the questions that I'm going to ask. So you're going to need to remember your names. They're going to be very important. A lot of people have challenges with that part of the game show. All right. So couple of things about the we've already gone over all of the prizes, so we don't need to do that again. So tonight I have a question about every year in the past decade in Portland. And so you're going to be reliving the 2010s of Portland tonight. If you think you know the answer to the question that I know, you're going to ring in by saying your name. And then you'll get to answer the question. All right. So, sample question. The name of the venue that we are inside tonight right now is called the...
Tony.
Tony, correct. He called in with his name. This is very good. This is a very good sign for Tony. The answer is...
My Portland.
No. Actually, the podcast is called My Real Portland, and the venue is called the Jade Lounge. All right. And that is how the game is played.
This bodes well.
And how you'll lose the game. All right, now.
Quickly.
I think that these questions are easy, but I am always told that these questions are harder than I always think they're going to be. Okay? So, we're going to try this first question of the year 2010. Think back into 2010 of Portland, and if you can remember this. So, Tyler, what, you were 12?
13.
13. All right.
You're my mom. Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not going to go well for Tyler.
No. I'm not even sure why I did this.
The good thing about this, Tyler, is that both the winner and the loser wind up getting the exact same prize. So it all works out. All right. So in 2010, this child disappeared from a Northwest Portland school in June. Yeah, a couple of crazy looks in the audience. Now, here's something that you don't know that I haven't told you yet. You have a lifeline. You can ask, of the 10 questions I have, help from the audience one time. So you can use that now, or you can pass. Say, okay, so you're both going to pass. It does, and yeah?
I'll guess. This is going to be incorrect. Jean-Benet Ramsey.
Oh, no. Although I like that guess.
Close.
Different
Yeah. I don't know. As good a guess as any.
Different state in Europe. Yeah.
The answer is Kyron Horman. Oh. Yeah. Kyron Horman. Okay, now this sounds like it's going to be a hard question, but it gets easier as it goes along. In 2011, a demonstration in response to an attack on a gay couple, Brad Faulkner and Christopher Rosevar, who had been holding hands while walking across this bridge. There was a demonstration on this bridge in response to an attack on this gay couple on this bridge. The event was called Hands on Blank. Hands on Blank. Anyone?
No, it's
The contestants are trying to help each other. Everything's gone awry.
I don't know what the question is.
We've unionized.
The answer is Hawthorne, the Hawthorne Bridge. Okay. Remember, you can call on somebody from the audience if you would like. I'm probably not gonna pronounce the name of this city correctly. In 2012, Portland became official friends with the city of Utrecht. Is that right? Utrecht? Utrecht is in what country? Tyler.
Germany.
No, that is incorrect. Tony? In 2013, this is your fourth question.
Is there more information? Like, what? Is there more of a story there? They just sent us a friend request. We're like, yeah, I guess. Utrecht. Sure.
I
Couple
mean, yeah,
mutual
sure. I mean,
friends.
who doesn't
You
want to be
up?
friends with Utrecht?
I don't know much about Utrecht. Was there like a,
I
a
mean-
news story of some sort?
No.
Oh.
We got that 2 a.m. text.
So we just
shooting the shot.
I mean, I think they just, yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I mean,
shout out Utrecht.
the Netherlands set out like some big effort. In 2013, Portland voters chose to keep what out of its drinking water?
Tyler,
Tyler?
would it be fluoride?
Fluoride is correct. Tyler, you may win this after all. How do you feel about that?
I don't know how to feel about that.
All right. Okay, so 2014, the worst day of the year bike ride was canceled because of what? The worst day of the year bike ride was canceled because of what? Tony.
Weather?
That's correct. That is correct. In 2014, we canceled the worst day of the year bike ride because it was so bad. People did not want to ride. In 2015, how you feeling about this so far, by the way?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You doing all right?
Feeling good.
Need a drink or anything?
I have one.
Okay, good. All right. In 2015, when marijuana became legal, Portland Normal held a massive weed smoking party on a bridge called the Blank Burn. The what? Burn.
Can I get a call out to somebody?
Sure.
That's his mom.
Anyone?
Come on.
You can take it. You can take it. Don't
No,
worry.
it's okay.
Also, come on.
It's all you.
No,
It's all you.
I'm going to say Burnside Bridge.
The Burnside Bridge is correct.
That's the best guess I could have come up with for that one.
The
There's a lot of
Burnside
alliteration in these
Literally the
Burn.
only guess.
bridge demonstrations.
All right. So we are, correct me if I'm wrong, Christian, but we are tied 1-1, yes?
6 questions in. Yep.
Love it. All right, 2016. If you can think back to then, time of a national election, much like we find ourselves in this year, a bird landed on the podium of what presidential candidate? Tyler.
Bernie Sanders.
That is correct. At the University of Portland, you are on the board now for 2 points. You thought you were going to lose this thing. Look at this. You are just cruising right along. 2017, which Portlander gave Donald Trump's inauguration party $1 million so he could buy himself an ambassadorship? You can call out to the audience if you need to.
Call out, but he's going to.
Call on your mom. I think your mom knows.
Call your mom.
Okay, I call on. What? Oh yeah,
Tony.
That is correct.
Didn't say his name.
oh, was
That is my
that
name.
Tyler didn't say his name. Tony.
Oh
that's
no,
cheap.
that's
cheap.
fair.
cheap. No,
That's
no,
fair.
that's fair.
I cede the point on a technicality.
You've
to
already
Tony.
unionized. I don't want to get in the middle of that.
No, see
I
this.
concede this
This
question.
is building bridges.
I'm some weird corporate overlord now trying to take on your game show. I see. Gordon Sondland is correct, and Tony, you're very gracious. In 2018, this homegrown fast food shop became the first federally recognized fast food workers union. And I hope you know this because you know a little something about unionizing. You've done it tonight.
I hate fast food. I have no idea what.
But we love a union.
Right. So it's torn. Do you go to this place or do you not? It's a wild.
Can I get a shout out from Aaron? Or have him?
You absolutely. Aaron, do you know that?
Tony Burgerville.
There you go. We are tied.
Yay!
Burgerville
I know
is
nothing
the
about
correct answer. Now I've got one more question left. In 2019, this just happened a couple of weeks ago. What Portland Park was totally clear-cut by vandals in late December? Absolutely demolished. Just every tree in the place was just trashed. Anyone?
I don't know, but that sucks.
Right?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I would like to know.
We are in accord that this is bad.
Christian, do you know?
No, it seems to be a thing that people are aware of, however.
You've never heard it? You didn't hear of this?
It seems like it could be some sort of Santa Claus nonsense. But I truly have no idea.
Almost. The world's smallest urban park is 24 inches around. It's Mill End Park, and it's just right over here in the middle of Front Avenue, Nadeau Avenue. And inside of it was one Douglas fir sapling, and it was just cut off and totally removed.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Shit.
We were all devastated.
This is like the 2 foot by 2 foot park that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. 24-inch circumference.
We don't deserve nice things.
Well, shoot, we're tied, right? Okay, so you both get to go home with these
The saddest
fantastic
calendar.
gifts. Okay, and I will sign your calendar after the show if you want. All right. So here you are, Tyler. Congratulations. And Tony. All right. Thank you. Now get off the stage. You're done. Thank you, everyone, Tony and Tyler. So our last guest is a folk singer who acts as a voice for the outdoors, education, and mental health. His songwriting and performances speak to the power of place and the way community can meaningfully change how a group of people interact and support each other, like all of us here tonight. His lyrical voice and delicate fingerpick style of guitar draws the listener in, simultaneously relaxing them and reminding them to be intentional in their day-to-day interactions with one another. Please welcome to My Real Portland, Matthew Puccio Jr.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. My first song is a song that I wrote about bees, flowers, and global agribusiness. I'm going to have to stand real still. Here we go. There's new flowers in the field as the springer starts to yield. Food for the bees, fruit of the soil. And you know what they'll get for their toil. Their tiny brains all full of Roundup. Dandelions just weeds to you and me. Too soon we'll only hear the sound of silence buzzing through the trees. So stay your hand, domestic gods. Try to see the beauty past your pasture of sod. And won't you, oh honey, please do it for the bees. Oh honey, please do it for the bees. Please do it for the bees and other pollinators. Oh, honey, please do it for the bees. So if you love the way honey glistens and preventing the collapse of our ecosystems, all it takes is planting flowers and making your voice heard to the powers. Be they neighbors or Congress people, tell them that the future of our food is past the brink. Or take your case to your weekly steeple. If he made them all, why should we make them all extinct? And if my words sound off or odd, know every spray of poison spits into the face of God. And won't you, oh honey, please do it for the bees. Oh honey, please do it for the bees. Oh honey, please do it for the bees and other pollinators. Oh honey, please do it for the bees. Oh won't you please, please, please do it for the bees. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Matthew, that's awesome. So I feel really super bad now because one of the chores that I had when I was a kid,
Oh no.
right,
Chores. This is
was to go out and round up the entire back 40. Oh my gosh.
Rip.
The life that I had to live, I can't think of the bees that I've killed because of it.
Tomorrow's a new day, man.
Right? Thank you for that song. You know, a couple of years ago, I saw a lady using a Roundup on a public circle in, like, a roundabout on Northwest 24th and Raleigh, and I just about gagged. It was, like, right next to a park, and it was such a different experience from when I was a kid. That was just normal to just go spread it all out there, right?
You do what you're told, like, yeah.
Right? I think my mom knew better, but... So wonderful to have you on the show. How did you, how long have you been doing music?
So I started on piano when I was 6, and I was just terrible. I just forced to play music, and that's how I viewed it for a really long time. But I picked up, some instruments in middle school. I played French horn, and I started singing in choir, and then I got to 12, and everything sucked, so I quit all of it. But then I got to high school, and I was like, oh, wait, the music, those are my people, the theater kids, the music kids, the choir kids. And then I got to college, and I wasn't going to go to college, but I got kind of shanghaied into a music degree by my director, who found out that I wasn't going. He's like, no, here you go to this community college, and just kind of wrote it out. And yeah, and so now I'm 28, and last year I was like, you know what, I've been writing songs, and I think that if I, any musician knows that, like, oh man, if I just practiced, I could do something.
Right? You actually have to kind of work at it a little bit. Yeah, right. So what's been your motivation for writing the music that you're working on now?
A lot of it comes from feeling of imbalance in my life, of seeing things one way, having been taught them a different way, having been taught that they should be a different way as a child, and then not seeing people, trying to, like, weigh down the other side of the seesaw in any way, and, like, putting voice to those, to that, like, turbulence, to that dissonance in my life, and trying to, like, bring a voice to it.
Along with that, you described a piece that you've written, To See with Eyes Unclouded by Hate, such a lovely title, as an attempt to create a mood to help the listener feel all right.
Yeah.
And the idea of feeling all right seems so foreign at times to me because I feel so unsettled by either something in the news or something in my own personal life. That the quest to just feel all right is actually a really lovely thing. When so
Thank
much
you.
music is asking for us to feel love or anger or some really deep emotion, to just feel almost like we belong. Where did
Content.
that? Yeah. Where did that idea come from?
So I don't know. I grew up. You were talking earlier about having like gone through like a depression, and that's very much happened to me before. Like towards the end of college, I was like, wow, I'm going on year 6, man. I gotta get this shit done. Like, but and kind of, I don't know. I came from like the Midwest and the South, where there's a lot of like keeping up of appearances. So like you don't, if you're sad, then people want to make you happy. If you're angry, then people want you to feel peaceful. Like, and that it's okay to feel those things, but you should you should do something with it. Like that's coming from somewhere. There's a need in your life that's not being met, and you should meet that and maybe swing a little bit in the other direction, but like kind of like relax into those anxieties to see what, like, there's a reason. Like humans, we've come a long way, and we keep coming up with new ideas, and no new idea that like changed humans for the better came from somebody who was just like mad all the time and never did anything about it. Like, so my music is hoping to like give people something to do about it, and also like create this sort of like balance for people of feeling peaceful and also like slipping in some like calls to action, you know?
Slipping in the calls to action within the music, that's really a big thing. So in the last song we just heard a message about bees, obviously not so slipped in as it's
pretty direct. Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's urgent.
Do you find that when you're writing music that impulse just comes through you to create something unexpected?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, most of my music, if it weren't for the influence of my very lovely and talented partner, that it would be pretty negative, honestly. That Bees song was gonna be really like pissed and sad and cynical, and she was just like, you should put like a nice chorus on there. You should like you should
Thank you.
So yeah, right? And so she co-writes a lot of my music, and she helps me like keep it like, hey, you can be upset about this, but what would help you not be upset about it, or what would help you feel peaceful in this situation? Like, balance that. So it's generally, it comes from a lot of like emotions I felt as a kid and a young adult of like growing up. I grew up very, very Christian, and that's neither here nor there. Like I've met all types in the Christian community, but growing up there was a pretty particular type that was, you know, two sides of their mouth when it comes to like environmentalism and taking care of the planet. Specifically, but yeah, I don't know. I want to be bold, man. I want to. Somebody's got to say. I listen to a lot of like outlaw country and some protest music. Get some Woody Guthrie, "This Land Is Mine," and, you know, like.
So I was just thinking of asking you a question about Woody Guthrie, and if you were familiar with the time that he had spent here in Oregon. Because I was just talking to my partner about that earlier today, about how very kind of, you know, protesty they were, but ultimately he winds up singing about how great the dams are, and, you know, they wind up. Anyhow, here we've gone on this whole like side.
Yeah, sorry.
Woody Guthrie,
man,
you know. He's
you know, he was a tenant for our president's father, and he apparently wrote a song about how much he hated it.
Right. Right. Now, that is actually a very good thing about Woody Guthrie. Okay, so where are you? You're performing, by the way, all around the Pacific Northwest, where that gives you a perspective of Oregon that a lot of people don't get. Anything that you've learned from being on the road around the state?
I feel like I found a lot of people that love their place, and it's different. I think from other places that I've been, because like I don't know, people in Texas love Texas, like they love Texas. My wife and I play a game, and it's like, all right, how long can you drive in Texas before you know that you're in Texas? Like, is there a flag? Is there like Texas? Like, is there the Texas brand Dodge truck or something billboard? But I feel like in Portland, it's more about, and Oregon and the Pacific Northwest, it's more about like the encounters I have with people who are, at least all the people that I'm meeting are very deeply connected in their communities, and also like ready to share that with people who show themselves to be also interested in the aspects of community. And so I think that's one of the defining features, is that, just to put it simply, everybody's just so nice. I like it a lot. Everybody's so cool to talk to, and just like, talk to this, whatever person anywhere, and just like find out like, oh, I'm doing this and that and the other. And it's like, oh, cool. Like
I like that perspective of where you live, because I've lived here for 45 years and I'm just like so done with all that. But no, that's great. I'm glad that you have that perspective.
I'm having a great time. I might get jaded later.
I'm just playing with you. All right.
Awesome.
Are we ready for the final questionnaire of the evening? Matthew, are you ready?
I hope so.
All right. I still have to look at this even though I've done it a number of times. What's your favorite smell in Portland?
So my friends live in Milwaukee, like Sellwood area, and there's just so many rosemary bushes around there. And rosemary's that kind of plant that like it can like fly under the radar, but if you see it, and then my favorite thing to do is like I'm gonna tell myself a little bit, but to like walk by and like brush like a rosemary plant or something, and then later on I like pick my nose and I'm like, oh there's or I like touch my face or something, and it's like, oh, that's really pleasant.
Was not expecting that moment.
Rosemary.
I was
rosemary
with you
bushes all
over on the rosemary.
And it's just like fresh and wet everywhere. I feel like I'm just like, this is like peat moss everywhere.
But enough
I
about
love
it. What's your favorite sound in Portland?
So there's a guy with a cart, and it's hot tamales. Chicken, veggie, beef, tamales.
Oh, where
6
is
for
this?
$5 tamale. It's in Sellwood.
In Sellwood, I love that.
He walks down Tonino, and he's got some dank tamales.
I've got to find. I've got to look for that.
It's just really pleasant to be like hanging out with your friends, playing Smash Brothers, and then suddenly you're just like, oh, I would love something like
and then all of a sudden, magic tamales. What's your favorite bridge in Portland?
So I really like the St. John's Bridge. Mm-hmm. It's like lofty and like neo-Gothic, and it's just tasty to look at.
Oh, yeah. Tasty.
It's interesting. There's like nooks and crannies,
What famous Portlandian would you most like to meet?
Isaac Brock, the lead singer for Modest Mouse.
I definitely heard of Modest Mouse, obviously.
Yeah.
I did not know the lead singer's name.
Isaac Brock. Yeah. I definitely had to look it up. I knew Modest Mouse was from Portland, but I'm like a fan, but not like a huge fan.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, they started they started like a record label. The Modest
Oh.
Mouse did, and they signed a band called Morning Teleportation. Anyway, long story short is he's cool, and I want to talk to him. I would have wanted to meet Ursula K. Le Guin, but she unfortunately passed away.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, about time. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible. No, I grew up reading her books, and she just Chronicles of Earthsea.
That's a very good answer.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Isaac, you're second place, man.
What's your favorite weekend brunch?
It's gonna have to be coconut banana, or no. Sorry, blueberry coconut pancakes.
That does sound delicious.
Yeah, right. Especially so here's what you do: you make your pancakes and you put your blueberries in them, and then you put coconut in them. No, but when you flip it, you have to, and you can't. I'm not about that. Like mix all of your inputs into the pancake batter. No,
I really thought there was going to be some kind of a surprise. I'm a little let down.
No, but whenever you flip it, you get like the toasted coconut.
Right.
Yeah. So don't put it in the batter though. That's what people do. Like they make their chocolate chip pancakes and they put all the chocolate chips in the batter, and you get like I see like you get like 17 chocolate chips in your last pancake and like 2 each in all of your other ones. You gotta place that shit.
Right. And then if you do it on top, then you get the Maillard reaction. Ooh, cooking term. Maillard reaction on the flip. That's just so excellent.
And it's gorgeous. And the blueberries just like.
So from the Dickhorn to coconut pancakes.
Which comes after.
How about during?
I mean, yeah.
If you could
Hot
rename
food.
any Portland street for who, what street and for whom?
I'm gonna hop on this Powell's because I think Powell's should actually be called Ursula K. Le Guin Way or something.
Oh no,
because it's got like a bookstore on it, like, and Ursula K. Le Guin is easily one of the best
that's actually
contemporary writers.
Name.
But if yours happens first, then I can pick another street. Like, that's totally fine.
Ursula K. Le Guin would be such a fantastic address to be.
Oh
to
my
have
gosh.
like southeast.
Southeast Ursula.
I
K.
want to
Le Guin.
write that now.
Yeah. Or like name it for like Ged or like Earthsea or like she just anyway.
Right. One of her. Yeah. Oh, the Earthsea.
I just like got female writers and artists. I'm just like, wow, you're so cool. You're just doing. I don't.
That was a good moment.
Yeah.
So here's the final question of the Portland questionnaire.
Hit me.
If you were a tree, and you were
yeah.
and you were planted in a Portland park.
Yep.
Which one would you want to be planted in?
I want to be the giant western red cedars in Westmoreland Park. Those things that are like 250 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
Me and my buddy climbed one of those, and you're just like that
climbed one.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's like a revolving ladder, like up the tree. Like it's unbelievably easy.
How fun!
Yeah, don't try this at home. Try it at Westmoreland Park. No, but seriously, like I love climbing trees and being 300 foot, 4, 5, 1100 foot Western Reds. No, they're just it's awesome. There's like such a safe power in those kind of trees. I don't know. I really like trees.
If you like those, you'll love the redwoods at the Hoyt Arboretum.
Ooh.
Oh, they are amazing. Okay, so, and if you like that, then you'll also like this next last song or two from Matthew Puccio. Are you all ready? All right, let's close it out.
What? I'm just kidding.
Well, Matthew's getting ready and getting his guitar, by the way. I just want to let you know that at the Clinton Street Theater on Thursday, one of my guests is going to be Lanny Jolie. Now, Lanny Jolie is the owner of the Clinton Street Theater, and she's actually going to be talking about her film festival called the Portland Underground Film Festival, or PUFF, by the way, which is going to be the this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm also going to be talking to her about her new book called Unfit, a tale of one pregnant teen in the Bible Belt before women had choice. And it's a story of how she was sent away from her home in 1971 to a New Orleans home for pregnant women when she was a teenager to have her son, and was reunited with him just a couple of years ago. She's a fantastic woman who is the essentially the curator and owner of the Clinton Street Theater. Fantastic person. Also with us on Thursday night is going to be Jenna Vesper, who has her own film festival called the Rejected Film Festival. All of her films are films that have not been accepted into film festivals, and so she likes to celebrate those. We'll have a clip of her film festival at our show, and then we'll also have the Reformers Theater Group, which is going to start a 12-episode story within a show within a show that starts on the 16th, and it might involve that little story of Tanya Harding that we started the show with. And also at the show will be Christian Burke and comedian D. Martin Austin. It is a fantastic show. I hope you're going to be there at 7 o'clock at the Clinton Street Theater. And now, without further ado, Matthew Puccio.
So I talked a little bit ago about how I grew up in like a pretty religious upbringing, and that sort of dissonance between people who think that the earth is a gift from God and that you can take a gift and just poop on it and drill oil out of it and leave all your trash everywhere. So just the concept of the earth as the bride. This song is called The Scorned Bride, and it's my take on how the earth is going to maybe, golden rule, treat yourself or treat others how you want to be treated. Here we go. Scorned Bride. The scorned bride'll give back tenfold all that she's received. She'll flip tables and drown the masses if it'll give her some reprieve. Yeah, quiet and with method does her vengeance strike the land. You might follow and be forgotten at her wrathful hand. She gonna melt your heart with the fearful gaze. Ain't seen nothing like it in all of your days. She gonna melt your heart with the fearful gaze. Ain't seen nothing like it in all of your days. She gonna melt your heart with the fearful gaze. Ain't seen nothing like it in all of your days. She gonna melt your heart. Yeah, yeah. When we were young men, we played with fire, and for a time the flame danced bright in our eyes. But then our greed grew past desire, and how that ember swiftly flies. Yeah, and as we shiver in the wreckage of what we thought was promised land, start pointing fingers, but then we realize the torch was always in our hand.
She gonna melt your heart with the fearful gaze. Ain't seen nothing like it in all of your days. She gonna melt your heart with the fearful gaze. Ain't seen nothing like it in all of your days. She gonna melt your heart with the fearful gaze. Ain't seen nothing like it in all of your days. Gonna melt your heart, yeah, yeah. Well, I've traveled far and I've traveled near, and ain't nowhere ever felt more like home than here. Yeah, I have traveled far and I've traveled near, and ain't nowhere ever felt more like home than here. 'Cause I have traveled far and I've traveled near, and ain't nowhere ever felt more like home than here. Traveled far and I've traveled near, and ain't nowhere ever felt more like home than here. Thank you. So yeah, I've done quite a bit of traveling in my time. I met my partner in Vermont, and I grew up in southern Missouri, and I did college and high school in Texas, and now I live in Oregon. I've been an outdoor educator. I'm now a professional musician, and one of the longest running undercurrents in all of that has been the concept of just like going somewhere that's just, you know, like a little bit untamed. And I kind of sort of like sat with that for a while. And then I wrote this song. It's called Wild Spaces. It's the titular title album name of song. I'm gonna it's the song that is also the name of the EP that is going to be coming out in the next few months. Going to be on Spotify, but it's called Wild Spaces. Get you to those wild spaces. Let your legs carry you into the unknown. Quit all your daily races and face the mystery that you've been shown. I remember 19, living what I thought was the dream. Concrete box, all my own, vintage carpet and shed, showers made a home. But sunny Texas, it made me seek the cool creekside shade. I found a city park and considered the offers it made. Follow the stream round the bend, just out of sight. No one here, it's just me and all the leaves, a tiny wild space. Let my curiosity reap what it had sown. But I found some rest in a secret place, a way for my weary mind to atone. And I remember being only 9, a 6-year-old in tow. Her eyes shine just like mine, and the moon in Ozark, the trees over our head. But it's been many, many hours and we're overdue for bed. But the fresh cut trails by our uncle are still oozing with their names. Little did we know they would someday be tamed. Till then we'll fill the forest with our fame. Two wild children discovering the same in their wild spaces. Over Lake Table Rock, the stars and moon shone. Through those hills we did hasten, never worried about our hunger, never listened for a phone. Now I'm nearly 30, been so long since I've been anything but good and dirty. Perched on a bus outside of Bend, feeding the fire, living for the outdoors in the woods on top of tires. And I feel the Cascades reaching juniper and stone. Smell that snowy wind beckoning you on to those wild spaces. See how the land around you has grown. Quit all your social graces. Lose your shoes for a moment and feel your home. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Everyone, Matthew Puccio. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joe.
And thank you again to all of my guests. Christine McCrary, please come back up here. And Stephanie Patricio, we're going to take a group photo in just a minute.
Oh, excellent.
And thank you to the Jade Lounge. You have been the greatest My Real Portland audience tonight. Good night.
Night.
It's always been home, I've always been here, I've always got time for one more beer. So pick up a beer and pull up a chair and strike up the band. It's My Real